All right, hello everybody. I think everything should be working fine. Just decided to waste time tonight and I put together a little game. Um, so let's go ahead and show that pin number. It is right here. So this will be the pin number. And to join in, you just use the Kahoot app and you use that digit code. So we'll just kind of wait around and see, um, wait around for people to join, hopefully, if there will be people to join. But yeah, so for right now, just waiting for people. Hope everyone's having a pretty good week. There's not too much going on this week. Hi, Liz. But and these are nicknames, so I really can't tell who's who. But someone could put Obama, and I wouldn't know. It's probably not Obama. But hey, Carolyn, I bet you're Russo. Um, but yeah, besides that, I hope everyone's having a good week. Not much going on here. I'm just insanely bored, and so therefore I decided to put together a little game or whatever. But hopefully we'll get some more players. I'll give it about 5 minutes, hopefully. So by that time, we'll go ahead and have people. But hope everyone's having a great night, though. It's beautiful out, at least down here in northern Kentucky. But let's see. But yeah, so hope everyone's having a great week. Hope everyone's staying safe, indoors, blah blah blah. You probably know the drill. But besides that, should be a fun night. Curious to see how this goes anyway. It's my first time really trying it out, so at least live stream wise, but should be fun. Hopefully we can get a couple more people in. Start hopefully at like 7:15. I hope. But besides that, just gonna wait around for a couple minutes. So we will probably be starting here. Hopefully at 7:15, I'll probably call it. But besides that, everyone can still tune in and listen in. So yeah, only a couple more minutes. Alright, we'll just give it about 2 more minutes, and we'll go ahead and call start of the game. So everyone hang in there. Alright, and I'm going to go ahead and call it in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wait a minute. Someone just left. Let me see if they get back. They've been going in and out. Oh, where's everyone go? Oh, 6. Okay. And a couple more players. Last call. Alright, I'm sorry. Alright, so here we go. 48 question. Alright, question 1. What was the most expensive attraction at the opening of the park in 1972? Was it the Racer, the Eiffel Tower, Enchanted Voyage, or the Kings Island Miami Valley Railroad? Let's make sure everyone's getting caught up. It's only one answer. Alright. It was the Enchanted Voyage. The Enchanted Voyage cost $2 million at the time of opening, which was the most expensive attraction at the time. Alright, going to the next one. Yes, okay. What special feature was originally planned for Son of Beast? Was it 2 loops, an underground tunnel, backward trains, or a corkscrew? Alright, it was 2 loops. So originally how it was going to be, there was going to be switch out in... Well, I'm going to answer. So everyone refer to your phone. Don't look to the YouTube channel because it's going to be delayed. But yes, so Son of Beast was originally going to have 2 loops. By the time it shows the question, okay. Let me... Maybe I can go ahead and... Okay. So there seems to be some problems. So let me go ahead and lengthen the time really quickly. So let me go ahead and do this really quick. Blah, blah, blah. This doesn't count. Skip. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and edit them really quickly. Give Give them a little bit more time. And again, I apologize. This is my first time really trying this out. Okay. I'm going to add 10 more seconds to each of them because I think I know what the problem is. Okay. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a great week so far. So anyway, about the Son of Beast thing, it was originally going to have 2 loops, but only one being used. They would switch out the loops to do maintenance on one while the other was working at the time. But it was just something that they kind of realized would be too big of a problem and a little more expensive. Okay. Almost done. But yeah, sorry, I'm quickly adding more time onto all the questions, and then I will go ahead and restart the quiz, and so that way everything will hopefully give enough time for everybody, because I'm sure it's lagging a little bit. 20, 20, 20. Almost done, guys. Sorry about this. Oh. But I hope everyone's having at least doing what they can to have an entertaining week. I know it's crazy for everyone, and I'm sure everyone can't wait to get back to riding roller coasters and stuff, but of course, being safe is number one priority kind of thing. But all right, so let me go ahead and start this again. Let me go ahead and save it. Play. All right, here's the new pin number, everybody. So sorry about that. We'll go ahead and add more time to everyone's questions. I'm sure it's probably just a delay problem with streaming and stuff. But hopefully this will go ahead. Hey everybody, sorry, this is the first time. I'm just curious to see how this works, but I also know that probably a lot of people have nothing else to do. So I'm sure it could be fun for some people. So I guess for the first 3 questions, you all will go ahead and get those right anyway. So those will be free bonus questions, if you can remember them, of course. So. I'll give it about another minute or so, and we'll go ahead and get started again. So sorry about that. But, if I have something that I may as well try, and maybe bring joy to other people and love me like I'm. Oh, but yeah. So. All right. Go ahead and get started in. Go ahead and get started in about 30 seconds. So, actually, I'll get 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll go ahead and start it. So, first one. What was the most expensive attraction at the opening of the park in 1992? Was it the Racer? Was it the Eiffel Tower? Was it the Enchanted Voyage? Or was it the Kings Island Miami Valley? Alright. Awesome. I think. Okay, so I think I forgot to add time to that one, so. But I swear, I added ones to the rest of them. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right, we'll get this. I'm gonna get it. Where did it go? All right, and next question. Let's try this. Let me, hopefully, okay, 20 seconds. What special was originally planned for Son of Beast? Let's go ahead and make sure, hopefully everyone gives enough time. I'll see what you guys, let me know in the comments if it's not, or anything. Alright, did anyone have any problems with that? Hopefully. Oh, you know what? I need to squish this up a little bit. Okay, so hopefully that worked a little better. Alright, try the next one. Flight Commander was designed by who? Is it Era Hus, Mock, Intamin, or Rocky Mountain Construction? Okay. So how did that one work any better, or was it still, because don't refer to your phone or the live stream as the live, because the YouTube will be about 30 seconds behind. Only use your phone for this, really, but you can just hear my commentary for the stream. But okay, so hopefully that worked a little better. Let's go on to the next question. R&R Creative did the theming for Phantom Theater, and what other attraction? Was it Congo Falls, Tomb Raider the Ride, Adventure Express, or Whitewater Canyon? Alright, I'm gonna see if how this is working. Okay. Because I'm still hearing that there's trouble with it, so let me check this out. Let's see. Da-da. Okay, let's go ahead and try this one more time. Alright, what was Scooby-Doo's Woodstock Express nickname? Oh, okay. That's frustrating. Okay. Okay. Alright. I just figured why it's doing that. Okay. Alright. Let me give more time. Okay. Alright. Let me try one more time. I'm going to add a minute to each question because I just realized that when I went ahead and put onto it, it was not. Okay. Hold on. So yeah, I realized that yes, I didn't realize that. I thought on the app it was going to show you the questions, but it refers to the YouTube. So that's my bad. Again, I'm still working on it. All right, let me add like a minute because I know there's like a 20-second, a 30 to 20-second delay. Okay, so sorry about that, everyone. Glad I finally figured that out. Took me a year, but it's all good. Alright, I'm gonna add 60 seconds to each phone. Man, we could be here a while then. I got 40, I think there's like 47 questions, I think. So, alright. Let me make sure, I have to go through every one of them to make sure that they are long enough. But, that's so funny. I didn't even realize that. I'm so sorry, guys. Ugh. So anyway, you can talk in the comments section. What are you guys doing? What are you all doing at home to, stay healthy and stay active and hopefully not die because of no roller coasters? I'm sure it's really tough, but all right, almost done. Adding more time. So yes, you have to refer to the. Unfortunately, you have to look at the live stream for the question, and then you have to type it in on the app. So even though it'll be 60 seconds, it'll really only be about 30 seconds, really, that you have to answer, because I think there's like a 15-second lag time behind. Um, and that's just unfortunately due to YouTube and OBS, the streaming software that I use. So hopefully that should give everyone enough time. All right, and save it. All right, let's do this again. Last time, hopefully. And if this doesn't work, maybe I'll try again tomorrow night once I have everything settled. All right, 706324 is the PIN number. 706324. All right. 706324. And hopefully once we have... Okay, so I think this should work. I'm hopeful, and if it doesn't, I'm not going to keep everyone here. I'll try again tomorrow night or something. I was so positive it was going to work. Oh, man. All right. I think we'll stop about 7, because I think that's how many people. All right. Hopefully this will work. I'm hopeful, guys. I'm hopeful. Very hopeful. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll start it. All right. Let's try this again. So, actually, hold on. I'm going to skip these. I'm sorry. I'm going to skip through these questions because I know we already did them. So let me go ahead and do these because these aren't going to count. Okay. I'll tell you when we're going to start the next one. Okay. All right. R&R Creative did the theming for Phantom Theater and what other attraction? Was it Congo Falls? The 1988 Intamin Water Flume? Was it Tomb Raider the Ride? The Hoos Top Spin? Was it Adventure Express? The Aerodynamics 1991 Mine Train? Or was it Whitewater Canyon? The Intamin Water Rapids Ride, added in 1985. All right. How's it? Is it working for everyone in the chat? Hopefully. Hopefully it is. Let me know in the chat if everyone can understand the answers. All right, it was Adventure Express, the 1991 Aerodynamics Runaway Mine Train roller coaster. R&R Creative did the theming for Phantom Theater in 1992, the year after Adventure Express, so they were asked to be working again. All right, seems to be working, so let's go ahead and try the next one. All right, so this is what the score looks like now, at least. All right, what was Scooby-Doo or Woodstock Express's nickname? Or what is the nickname? Is it the 30-Day Wonder? Is it Old Reliable? Is it the Classic? Or is it the Legend? And I didn't want to add too much time to these because some of them are able to be looked up on the internet. So hopefully you guys aren't doing that. But if you do, oh well, I won't know. So. 15 seconds. So Woodstock Express was created in 1972, and it was named the 30-Day Wonder. It took the park only 30 days to build and design. Well, not design, but build the ride. It was very easy to complete. It was a John Allen, one of his classics, along with the Racer. And so yeah. So these questions, it's more of a fun, interactive learning way, but I just wanted to be interactive. Some of these will be a little hard, but they'll vary. I try to make it fun, but I just wanted to be an interactive. All right, next one. What was the park's first steel roller coaster? Was it King Cobra? Was it the Bavarian Beetle? Was it Screamin' Demon? Or was it the Bat? Now, King Cobra was a Togo stand-up. It was the world's first stand-up roller coaster in 1984. Bavarian Beetle was a Galaxy type steel coaster. You can see it in the bottom left picture. There's the Screamin' Demon, which was an Aero-launched shuttle loop in 1977. And the Bat, which was this is considered the OG Bat. It was the 1981 to 1983 Aerodynamics, the first ever permanent suspended roller coaster. But yeah. So which one is it? Oh my gosh! And it is Bavarian Beetle. The Bavarian Beetle lasted from 1972 at the park's opening up until 1978 when it was removed, and it had previously lived life at Coney Island, I believe. All right, so look at the skirts, and it's Carolyn. Awesome. All right, next one. How tall is Orion's third hill, the turnaround point? Is it 200 feet? Is it 198 feet? Is it 202 feet? Or is it 175 feet? And I'm sorry, these questions are going to range from all kinds of... These are going to be interesting. So yeah, I think I added enough time because I know the screen that you guys are watching will be delayed by like 20 seconds maybe. All right, and everyone answered, so it is 202 feet. So this is, I believe, the first Giga roller coaster to have a second hill over 200 feet. I think Fury's is only like barely misses it, but and that may just be B&M Giga. I don't know, but eh. All right, and new rankings. All right, next one. The original bat was demolished in what year? So this is the bat that lasted from 1981 to 1983. It was plagued with trouble, and it was just tearing itself apart because of many issues. Because there was an Aero prototype suspended coaster. All right, and the answer was 1985. Now, and that sounds weird because it last operated in 1983, and I didn't find this out until a couple weeks ago from that newspaper article. The bat was torn down in it standed but not operated in 1983, 1984, and then was finally torn down before the start of the 1985 season. So that newspaper was taken from, I believe, early March of 1985. All right. Next one. Which ride did not open with the park in 1972? Was it the Tumblebug? Was it the Dodgem? The Flying Scooters? Or Bayern Curve? I think I spelled. I can always remember if Curve was with a K or a C. I know parks do it differently every time. I think Kenny Woods is like a K. Or maybe it was a C. But anyway, so the Flying Scooters was your Flying Eagles. Dodgem was bumper cars. Bayern Curve was your Olympic bobsled ride that went around in circles. And Tumblebug was your Harry Traver Tumblebug, basically. All right, and the answer was Bayern Curve. Bayern Curve opened in 1973, along with Kenton's Cove, Kilbope Canal, and the Flying Dutchman. Bayern Curve was located in Oktoberfest, and it was new that season in 1973. So it was the year after the park opened. What year did Skylab open? Now, Skylab was one of your Enterprise hosts Enterprise rides. Was it 1986, 1976, 1982, or 1978? Red is 1986, blue is 1976, yellow is 1978, and green is 1982. This was also located in Oktoberfest, kind of where the ropes game is between. I think it's by the Coca-Cola marketplace is essentially where Skylab was located. I think. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully, I'm right on all these questions. That's my biggest fear. Please don't judge me if some of these questions are actually end up wrong. But yes, it was 1986. Bayern, sorry, Skylab was added in the 1986 season. All right, what's the nickname of this hill featured on the racer? Is it called the Banana Split? Is it Hill 95? Is it the Big One? Or is it Allen? Now, again, the racer was built in 1972 and just designed by John Allen of Philadelphia Toboggan Company. It's a neat little picture. You can see a not a Skylab, Zodiac in the background. And of course, you have your red racer and your blue racer. And the answer is Hill 95. Now, this one, I'm sorry, this one was, I know this one's a little harder, but I just, again, this is more of like a fun learning video, but I wanted it to be interactive. So some of these, don't use this as a competition. I mean, you can if you want, but some of these will be hard and some of these will be easy. But yes, I don't think it's known why it's called Hill 95. I just remembered, um, my friend Brian Lamb, from the Kings Island 50 Years of Memories documentary, had told me that, and that's something that really stuck with me for a while. Now, Banana Split is very close. I thought that was actually a really good, because I didn't even know the answer to this when he asked me it. But on to the next one. Kings Mill's log flume was given its first name change in what year? And for those of you who don't know, this is also Race for Your Life Charlie Brown. Race for Life Charlie Brown is the park's little log flume, featured in Planet Snoopy. And over time, it has also been rethemed. Here's a hint: it's been rethemed when it was Nickelodeon Universe. Yes, and I'm sorry, I don't really have any prizes. I just wanted to do a fun interactive because I know everyone was sitting at home, and I wanted to do something fun with everyone because I know that sitting at home is lame. And the answer was 2001. Now, in 2001, they was the first one of many big expansions they did in Nickelodeon. For Nickelodeon Central, they rethemed it to the Wild Thornberrys River Adventure. That was a um, little concept there. Um, but yeah, so there's that. It was, yes, 2001. All right, up next, what was Shake, Rattle, and Roll's original name? Was it the Zodiac, Galaxy, Zonga, or Troika? Now, Shake, Rattle, and Roll has been in the back of the park, and it stood next to the Bat and Vortex for many years, and it still currently operates today. And a fun fact behind Shake, Rattle, and Roll's name, it is actually based off of the name of Elvis Presley's song, Shake, Rattle, and Roll, because it's kind of given that like 50s vibe over in the Coney Mall section by the Jukebox Diner. Um, Very vintage ride. Three, two, one. And the answer is Troika. Now, the name Troika is essentially the manufacturing name for the product. Um, but yes, it is Troika. And I don't know what year. I'm thinking like around mid 80s when it was changed. All right, what year did the racer start running one side backwards? Was it 1980? Was it 1982? Was it 1984? Or was it 1986? Now, I'd also like to give a disclaimer. I don't really own a lot of these. I don't own probably next to none of these photos. Um, these are just, I'm deleting this YouTube video after I stream it, so I'm not like using it for any purpose or anything. It's just a bunch of things I have saved to a bunch of pictures I had saved to my camera roll. So I thought it'd be fun to use it. But again, I do not take credit for just about any of these photos. Um, it's just ones that I thought was good, and if I added credits to every single one, I would have to do years and years of research probably, because it's hard when there's so many photos on your phone. But it was 1982. The Bat in 1981. the original bat had trouble operating for the 1982 season, and for Memorial Day, they really needed something for the park to really just bring in people, and it really sucked that the bat was currently closed. So they decided, they got the idea to turn the blue, or was it the red? I don't know, one of the sides backwards, and it operated through that until what year was it turned around to face forward again? Was it 2006, 2007, 2008, or 2009? And again, I do not own pretty much any of these photos. I will tell you if one of them's the one I took, but for the most part, none of these are mine. But yes, they were saved from my camera roll, and I can't remember when. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a good, safe night at home. Everyone's having fun. I've been really praying for you all. You guys have been in my thoughts. I mean, it's a hard time for all of us, I'm sure. And if there's anything that I can do, also, please let me know. If anyone just needs help getting toilet paper or something. But it was 2008 was the year it was turned around and face forward again. It was a decision by Cedar Fair once Paramount bought Cedar Fair from, or once Cedar Fair bought the Paramount parks. And the reason it kind of won't get turned around today is because Philadelphia Toboggan Company really recommends by standard for insurance purposes that it's best if they run the ride how it's supposed to and recommended by guidelines. And this is your current scores. Dang, Brian. Oh, I bet I know who Brian that is. The original proposed name for the bat, which was the Top Gun, it was known as Top Gun and Flight Deck. Which was it going to be? Was it going to be Congo? Was it the Bat? Was it Thunder Road? Or was it Maniac? And this photo, I believe, some of these photos I do give credit to Kings Island's history on the Twitter. Although I know he didn't personally take those. You can find, I'm sure you could find some photo credits on there. But this was right before Paramount Parks took this ride was actually in plan for the before Paramount Parks bought the park. So you'll likely look for a King's Entertainment Company name. And the name was Thunder Road. Yes, it was going to be, I don't know if it was going to be similar to like the racing Thunder Road that Carowinds kind of had, that kind of theme there with the cars and stuff. But yes, it was originally going to be Thunder Road until Paramount purchased the park, and they thought it was a great opportunity to theme it to one of their rides, and it would eventually be called Top Gun the Jet Coaster in 1993. And your scores going up, going up. All right, next one. The Flying Dutchman was removed in what year? Was it 1990, 1991, 1992, or 1993? Now, I am asking the last season it operated, so the answer is not the year it was removed. Well, no, I guess I'm an idiot, man. But the last season it operated, basically. And for those of you who don't know, the Flying Dutchman was then bought by Kentucky Kingdom, a park that we all know, love, and dear in our hearts up in Louisville, Kentucky. And it still operates to this day. And a matter of fact, it is my favorite flat ride at that park. Although I still have yet to ride Cyclos. Maybe it's one of those. And it was 1990. 1990 was the last year it operated. And then, and you can know this by part of Adventure Express's Q line was replaced by it. So yes, 1990 was the last year it had operated. All right, and we're going to the next one. This is fun. Flood of Fear won what award upon opening? Was it the fastest launch? Was it the best new ride? Was it the most expensive attraction? Or was it the first indoor inversion? Now this one is a little harder. I'm pretty, yeah, I know it's at least one, but again, if it's another one of these, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do know for a fact that one of these is right. But of course, the anxious side of me is like, oh, it's probably not. But yes, it was Best New Ride at IAAPA in 1995. It was awarded Best New. You know what? Maybe it was first indoor inversion. I have to look that up. I'm sorry, guys. But it was awarded Best New Ride in the 1995 IAAPA. It was it won high honors at the IAAPA before it had even opened. That was the crazy thing about it, because it proceeded to open in the 1996 season. All right, and again, if that's wrong, then please forgive me. This is more of just a fun. It's not a competition, but it's just fun learning things. Orion is Kings Island's blank total coaster, and this includes all past or present, and counting the racer as 2 credits. Now, I'm pretty sure I've had to double, triple, and quadruple check this, so I'm pretty sure I've got the right answer for this. Maybe. But I had to do like my math like 5 times, and I eventually got it, I think. But it's including every roller coaster, past or present, and all right, and it was the 23rd roller coaster. Now, counting the racers, 2 credits. You had Scooby Doo, Bavarian Beetle, Screamin' Demon, The Bat original, The Beast, King Cobra, Vortex, Adventure Express, Taxi Jam, Top Gun, Flight of Fear, Scooby's Ghoster Coaster, Invertigo, Son of Beast, Flying Ace, Backlot Stunt Coaster, Firehawk, Diamondback, Banshee, Mystic Timbers, and Orion. So it's 23rd. Stricker's Grove is home to Tornado, designed by the same man who helped design what ride at Kings Island? Was it Adventure Express? Was it Woodstock Express? Was it the Racer? Or was it the Beast? Now, again, this is, again, forgive me, this may be some of these are harder questions, and I didn't really realize that because I'm like, oh, I want this to be a fun, interactive learning opportunity for people. But at the same time, I'm like, maybe I can turn it into a little bit of a fun. But yes, it was the Beast. Al Collins was the designer. He was hired after designing the Beast. He was one of the park's head architects. And after designing the Beast, he also went on to do Stricker's Grove Tornado, and he also did Bush Beast, which was a wooden roller coaster over at the now defunct Australia's Wonderland. Great man, great man. What year did Scooby-Doo, or Woodstock Express, become known as the Beastie? Was it 1979? Was it 1980, 1993, or 1992? Now, the fun fact about the Beastie, or Woodstock Express, It's had 4 different color schemes, I believe. The original Scooby Doo was yellow. The Beastie, which was purple and orange. Um, the Fairly Odd Coaster, which was I think just purple, and then Woodstock Express was all blue in 2010, I believe. It was given a nice fresh coat of paint. Although I do wish they would repaint it to its original yellow, because I think that goes great with Woodstock, because Woodstock is yellow. Haha, you know. But yes, it was 1980. 1 year after the Beast had opened, it was such a huge hit. They decided to add a mini tunnel to the first drop, and it became then known as the Beastie. Scooby's Ghoster Coaster was built by who in 1998? Now, this was part of a Hanna-Barbera land expansion in 1998. Oh, Beastie was actually orange before it went to purple and orange. Ah, nice. I didn't even know that. I want to see a picture of that. Thanks, Brian. But yes, so was it aerodynamics? Was it Zamperla, Togo, or Caripro? Caripro. 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 I don't know. This one operated until 2005, and it was removed for Avatar, which was known as Surf Dog today. It was used for more expansion room. Avatar: The Last Airbender, which was then renamed Surf Dog. But yes, it was Caripro. It's not a very well-known manufacturer, but it built a lot of those suspended rail coasters seen throughout. I know Universal Studios has one, and I think Carowinds had one, like Super Soaker or something, and Hershey Park has had one as well. And these are your scores currently. What was the first structure completed for the park in 1970, or in the park's opening? Was it the first one that was completed? Was it the International Restaurant? Was it the greenhouse over by where the Bat is today? Was it the Eiffel Tower, or is it the Racer? Now, this answer I learned at Coaster Stock this year, or last year. It's again one of those harder but fun ones, I guess. It was the greenhouse. The greenhouse was the first, I guess, structure completed um, before the park opened. Um, I think the Racer and Eiffel Tower were finished in like 71 or something. Um, all right, and on to the next one. Woo! Killing it, guys. Firehawk was relocated to the park, Kings Island, from which park? Was it Six Flags Astro World? Was it Six Flags New Orleans? Was it Geauga Lake? Or was it Kentucky Kingdom? Man, there's some fun stories about that ride even before. Hopefully, you'll get to hear more about the stories and the Kings Island 50 Years of Memory documentary that is coming soon. The answer was Geauga Lake. It was originally the roller coaster was built in 2001. At the time, Geauga Lake was actually called Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. It was the world's largest amusement park, and it was actually like a half SeaWorld, half Six Flags, really, and they combined it into one, all bought out by Six Flags. And then I believe in 2006, Cedar Fair purchased it and renamed it Geauga Lake. I don't know if it was 2006, but they had removed it. They moved it Fire X Flight up to Kings Island, and it was later renamed and rethemed as Firehawk. What was the first ride to offer on-ride photos at Kings Island? Was it the Beast? Was it Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown? Was it Vortex, or was it Woodstock Express? And those of you who don't know, Woodstock Express could also be called as the Beastie, or Scooby Doo, or the Fairly Odd Coaster. And Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown was also known as the Wild Thornberrys River Adventure, and it was known as Kings Mills Log Flume, or Kings Mills Log Flume. Yes. Right? Why is that? But yes, the answer was actually Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown. So fun fact, they would stick a little flag on the front of your log, and once it was coming down the drop, a photographer would be stationed outside of it, and he would take your picture on coming down that first drop. I do not know what year this was implemented, but I do know it was before the Beast, and it was the first one to ever is Kings Mills Log Flume or Race for Your Life, Charlie Brown. Where were the Enchanted Voyages characters built and shipped from? Was it China, Russia, Japan, or North Korea? And for those of you who don't know, I have an extreme fascination with this ride. I still think it'd be my favorite dark ride today, even though I was not around to experience it. Just because I grew up watching all the Enchanted Hanna-Barbera characters. And this was the most expensive attraction at the opening of the park in 1972. It also had a $5,000 ghost projector screen during the ghost scene, and it cost about $2 million the entire ride. And the cool thing about it is that its building is still there today, known as Boo Blasters on Boo Hill. The answer was Japan. So, not much to say about that one, but I highly recommend going and reading an article that I believe John Keeter did about the Enchanted Voyage on Kings Island's blog. It has a great full story about the life of that building, the rides that housed it. What was one of the rides that used to occupy the space where Kings Mills Antique Auto sits today? Was it Kenton's Cove Keelboat Canal? Was it the Flying Eagles? Was it the Tumblebug? Or Flight Commander? Now, Kenton's Cove Keelboat Canal was your aerodynamics hydro flume. Your Flying Eagles, was your flying scooters. Tumblebug was the Harry Traver, turtle kind of thing, and Flight Commander was your Intamin. Intamin. I don't know what its name was called. Its design name. That's actually a good question. Oh, it was called an Intamin Flight Trainer. But yes, it was Flight Commander. It was one of the rides. There's other rides that had sat on it. But Kenton's Cove Keelboat Canal was located in Rivertown. Flying Eagles was located in the Coney Mall section. Tumblebug was located also in was Oktoberfest, actually. And Flight Commander was located in the Coney Mall section. Now, that the pad where it was demolished in 2018. And it's been used throughout many years, but it was reused and demolished for Kings Mills Antique Autos. How many different names has Coney Mall received? And Coney Mall for Halloween Haunt counts as one. So we already know it's one. But how many different names has it had over time? And for those of you who don't know, Coney Mall is a section of the park located where the racer is. One of the earliest sections of the park. And it did, I will give another hint, it did have another name during the opening year of 1972. It was not called Coney Mall in 1972. The answer was 4. So if you count Coney Mall and you look at Coney Mall, you see it was originally called Coney Island in 1972. There's Coney Island in 1972, and then sometime in the early 80s it was renamed Old Coney, and then it was later renamed Coney Mall, and then Coney Mall for Halloween Haunt also counts as one. Who is the manufacturer of the character carousel in Planet Snoopy? This one, of course, is a little harder, but it's still, again, like I said, these are just like, it's a fun learning thing that I want to do for YouTube videos, because I know everyone's sitting at home and is bored. But yes, this was added as part of the 1982 expansion. They had a 1982 Hanna-Barbera Land expansion. I think it was called the... I don't remember what it's called. But it was featured a bunch of Hanna-Barbera characters, of course. Oh, and Tumblebug actually was in Coney Mall, not Oktoberfest. That's my bad. It's kind of like where they kind of split apart, where Coney Mall leads into Oktoberfest. It's kind of a loose little thing. But yes, it was Chance Rides. I remember, for some reason, that's one of the oldest questions I remember about the park. I don't know why. But yes, it was added in 1982. The Kings Island and Miami Valley Railroad steam trains are based off of what train model? Is it called the Century, the Vintage, the General, or the Lee Brown? Now, this is asking for what kind of design it was taken from. It was a World War II, designed off of World War II steam trains. And of course, this opened with the park in 1972. Yes, it was the General. That was a little bit of easier question. It was based off of a World War II model train, steam trains, and they're actually one of very few parks today that actually have genuine steam trains. What year did the Smurfs invade Kings Island? Was it 1982, 1983, 1984, or 1985? Now, of course, this came with the addition of the Smurfs Enchanted Voyage, because the Smurfs were really big at the time, and when Taft Broadcasting had purchased the rights to the Smurfs, it was a big deal, and they wanted to get merchandise, and so it was thought as a maybe controversial. It was, some could say it was the first controversial decision that the park made in replacing all of its Enchanted Voyage characters and theme with just the Smurfs. But they rethemed the whole Enchanted Voyage rides to the Smurfs Enchanted Voyage, and you'd go throughout the summer, spring, winter, and fall seasons. And it was 1984 was the first year, the year that the Smurfs invaded. 1983 was the last year for the Enchanted Voyage. In 1984, resulted in the addition of. Excuse me. Wait, hold on. I think I did that. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me. I want to make sure this is right. I don't. I think it's not Enchanted. I think I may have messed up. It may have been. No. Crap. I think I screwed that one up. It may have been 1982. I don't. I'm having a brain fart because I'm really nervous because I don't want people to judge me. No, it was 1984. Yes. Okay, 1984. So yeah. What has not changed over the 41 years that the Beast has reigned? Now, the Beast was built in 1979. Now, of course, this picture gives you a nice little hint. Was it the amount of trains, the amount of rows per train? Was it the restraints? Or were there never trims added originally, but then they later added them? Now, this one was a little hard to word because I can understand how it depends on how you take it. But again, this is just for fun. Please don't yell at me if I. But there is an obvious if you circle out. Yes, it was trims were added. Of course, the park had marketed it as going 70 miles per hour. And everyone had always said that they've slowed it down over time, and it never ran. The big thing I was going at was with people had always said that it never ran with trims, and the ride has actually always had trims, just different types of trim brakes. They switched to, I think, electrical brakes or whatever, the more modern brakes in like 2003, but back then you used to have like skid brakes and stuff. So that's why when you'd want to get after it would rain, that would be the best time to ride the Beast. So again, sorry for the weird wording. What year did Shake, Rattle, and Roll return with an all-new LED package? Now, that means for one of these years, it was, I will give you a hint, one of these years, it was actually out the whole season. And it was dismantled the whole season because it was being refurbished and a new LED package was being added onto it. I remember being like skeptical because I was just a little kid. I was so skeptical because I'm like, are they removing it? Because I didn't know anything back then. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that parks will actually put money into their own rides and actually refurbish them. Yeah, that was the old silly Kyle. But yes, it was 2015 and 2014. It basically was dismantled, and there was nothing there the whole year. And it returned in 2015 with an all-new red and white, colorful LED package, which looks beautiful at night. What year was the first ever Winterfest event held? Now, keep in mind, this was before Paramount owned the park. It was actually created by King's Entertainment Company. And this, of course, does not count the 2017 version because it technically wasn't the Cedar Fair or the first ever, or it was not the 2005 when Paramount brought it back because that was technically not the first one. Oh, and fun fact about this, thank you, Brian. The Beast actually ran during. The Beast was opening during Winterfest this year, so that's a crazy little fact for you that I would love if they did this year, but probably won't ever happen. What was King Cobra's last operating season? Was it 2000, 2001, 2002, or 2003? Now, in this picture, you can be seeing King Cobra being demolished and taken apart. They had, let's see, it stayed in storage off in the field, kept in a field because they were looking for a buyer. Paramount was looking for a buyer, but no one bought it. And it was eventually scrapped, and I think some of the trains ended up at King's Dominion for Shockwave. Probably some more of the ride parts ended there. And I know some of the trains are also stored in Flight of Fear, but that isn't the case today. Maybe some ride parts are, though. And that's a cool thing about Coaster Stock, is that if you go to Coaster Stock, then sometimes we'll have that Flight of Fear tour. You can get inside. Shameless plug. But it was 2001. The park had deemed it, from park management, the park had deemed it an eyesore, and it was time for something more thrilling to come, and eventually Delirium would replace it. The Action Theater was introduced in 1994 at the end of the park. What was the first movie played in it? Was it 007 License the Thrill? Was it Stan Lee's Seventh Portal? Was it SpongeBob SquarePants 3D? Or Days of Thunder? Now, this one's probably an easier one because I think most people will remember this. Action Theater still sits dormant today. It's used as a Halloween haunt attraction. It's Urgent Scare, I think. Yes, Urgent Scare. It is one of the scariest mazes I think actually the park has, so I never go back there, even though I miss 3D theaters or 4D. But it was Days of Thunder. It was introduced in 1994. They had a bunch of NASCAR drivers come up for Media Day, and they were invited, and it was just a fantastic time. 007 License the Thrill was early thousands, and Stan Lee's Seventh Portal was added in 2001, and SpongeBob SquarePants was added in 2003, and remained up until the 2009 season, I believe, until it was replaced by the final movie that took place in there, which was a Dinosaurs Alive 3D, as offered as a second attraction to a Dinosaurs Alive exhibit. What ride do these seats belong to? Now, to give you a little hint, this picture was taken inside Flight of Fear. Was it Delirium, Tomb Raider the Ride, Drop Tower, or Flight Commander? Delirium was 2003 Huss Frisbee, I think. Tomb Raider was a 2002 Huss Giant Topspin. Drop Tower was a 1999 Intamin Gyro Drop. And then Flight Commander was a 1990 Flight Intamin Flight Trainer. If that gives you any help. And it was Tomb Raider the Ride. Tomb Raider, the ride. If anyone knows that, where that came from, good for you. But it was eventually renamed The Crypt after Cedar Fair took it over, and The Crypt closed its doors. It's the final time in the 2012 season. It was so sad to see it, or the 2011 season, I think, was its last year. But I was so sad to leave it go because I finally just turned tall enough when I was 11 and to ride it, and so I rode it many times, and I wish I could have seen it in its former glory. But to this day, the ride has been taken apart. It's used by Madame Fatale's Cavern of Terror. It's a Halloween haunt attraction, and the for the most part, the building stands vacant to this day, except with the Halloween haunt. All right, who has the most recorded rides on the racer? Was it Dudley Taft, Carl Eichelman, Don Helbig, or Gary Walks? Now, this one's a very hard question. I know that I'm sure this is really hard for some of you. Oh, actually, it's probably not. I'm just kidding. I guarantee you most probably everyone that maybe knows this. Maybe. But I just thought I'd add that in there. It was a fun little... I found that picture of him. The answer is Don Helbig. Now, Mr. Helbig serves as the the marketing media manager, digital marketing manager for the park today. And he also holds the most recorded rides for Vortex as well. Thank you, Brian. And yes, I think on the racer he has today, to this day, he just has a little over 12,000, I think. Maybe like 12,500, I don't know. Just over 12,000. So. How much did Vortex cost Kings Island in 1987? Now, for those of you who don't know, the Bat, which is the original coaster that stood on the plot of land where the Vortex formerly sat, it was removed in 1985, so that means that they had an open plant in 1986, 1987. Now, I will give you a hint. Aerodynamics gave them it at a very discounted rate because of the failure of the Bat, and it was meant to serve as a replacement coaster for the Bat. Because I believe Kings Island did not want to pursue legal action towards Aero. But it was $4 million. Of course, that's probably a little more in today's time, but, you know, with money and stuff and government, blah, blah, blah. The flying carpet slide, which is pictured next to the racer, was eventually moved to another area of the park. Where was it moved to? Now, for those of you who don't know, the blue slide, the little carpets slide on the bottom left of your the picture is the ride I'm talking about. It opened with the park in 1972 as the Flying Carpets, and it was eventually moved to another area of the park. And it was the Happy Land of Hanna-Barbera. It became known, it was moved over there for the 1982 expansion, and it became known as McScrappy's Slide. Yeah, so that's a fun little fact. And actually, so if you can see, there was actually 2 or 3 hills But they cut off the top hill, and so only made it 2 hills for Hanna-Barbera Land once it was moved over there. The Enchanted Voyage's flume system was designed by D.H. Morgan, Aero Development, Intamin, or was it built in-house by Kings Island? Now this one could be a little tricky of one, but also you kind of got to think who's the premier manufacturer at the time. Also, yeah, that's all I'll say. I want to say more, but no. I like I said, I have such a fascination with this ride. It's the coolest thing. And the answer is Aero Development. They designed, so everyone kind of confuses it as they always thought that Kings Island actually had, it's a small world, the one from Disneyland, Disney World. Um, that's kind of for the big misconception is because the rides were extremely similar except for the thematic. All of the thematic stuff was done in-house by Kings Island and by Richard or Dick Harsley. He was the main designer of the Enchanted Voyage and all of its scenery. Um, but the flume system was designed by Aero Development. Wheel of Fortune, a chance Trabant ride, was relocated in 1985 to what amusement park? Now, for those of you who don't know, the ride I'm talking about is right in the middle, smack dab, the red guy. It was Wheel of Fortune. It opened with the park in 1972 and was relocated in 1985 to what amusement park? This one, of course, is a little bit of a harder question, but I thought it was a cool one for people to know. So I hope that people can, make light to learn about cool stuff like this. So that's why I added it. So was it Del Grosso's amusement park? Was it Kennywood, Australia's Wonderland, or the Coney Island in Cincinnati, Ohio? The answer was Del Grosso's amusement park. Yes, it's Kennywood. Now, the reason a lot of people probably chose Kennywood because it has a lot of the same rides there. I know it has like a turtle, which is like the same one as the Tumblebug, and lots of very old classic vintage rides, but it was sold to Del Grosso's amusement park in 1985. What former attraction did this piece belong to? Now, this is part of the front entrance or theming, I guess you'd call it, back in 1972. Was it the Tumblebug? Was it Halley's Comet? Was it Bayern Curve? Or was it Wheel of Fortune? No, this one's probably a little easier just if you've kept up because I've talked about all the other rides. It was Halley's Comet. It was added in 1972, and I do not know at what point it was removed. If I had to guess, it was probably early 80s because I know Coney Mall had to expand at some point. Because at the time, Coney Mall was actually it only went up to about like the first where Zephyr is today. it only went about that far, and it double expanded once Zodiac came in like 1975. So actually, it may have been gone before then. Linus's Beetlebugs was originally known as what ride? Now, this is one of the few rides that has been in the park since 1972. Linus's Beetlebugs has lived at the park all 48 years, or 40, 49 years of the park. And the names of these rides, that was really the only four. They had like a kind of like a. They had a dedicated area in the Happy Land of Hanna-Barbera, but it was Funky Phantom. Uh, it's a really hard name. I don't know how they named these, but these were the names that they came up with back then. It was originally built at Coney Island in 1967, and it was actually called Screecher. And then over time, it became Funky Phantom when it transferred over to 70 in Kings Island. It was Funky Phantom, Alley Cat 500, and Swipers Sweepers. It was the names over time or whatever. Looney Dooney. All right, next one. Peanuts Off-Road Rally was originally known as what? Now again, one of these answers has already been taken. Now this ride was manufactured by Hampton Amusement Corporation. It too operated from Coney Island in 1969 until 1971 when it was brought over to Kings Island. And it was actually originally known as Pee Wee Raceway back at Coney Island before it moved up to Kings Island. And the answer was Motor Mouse. Over time, it was known as Motor Mouse, and during the Nickelodeon era, it was Go Diego Go, and then and now with the Peanuts era, it is Peanuts Off-Road Rally. One of my first ever Kings Island rides, actually. I think mine was actually Boo Boo's Baggage Claim was probably my first ever Kings Island ride. What ride replaced the original antique cars? Now, the original antique cars operated from 1972 until the early 2000s. I will not say what year because that could come up in a later question. Actually, that would give the way of this. That would give the answer of this if I actually told you what year it was retired. I think we only have 2 more questions after this. So, it's been fun, guys. I'm surprised this actually worked out how it has. So yes, it was replaced by Backlot Stunt Coaster. The last year for the antique cars was in 2004. It was removed along with the Flying Eagles to make way for Backlot Stunt Coaster. The original antique cars has 2 separate tracks. One was named Lay Taxis, and the other was named what? So it wasn't just one big long attraction. You could actually, um, well, I actually it may have been like one of those, what do you call it? Like Mobius. It may have been a Mobius. I don't remember. I don't know. But I know the one entrance would be over in Coney Island or Coney Mall, whatever you want to call it, and then the other was located in Rivertown. And the answer was Ohio Overland Auto Livery. Livery. I don't know. So, fun fact about this: the last operating year for Ohio Overland Auto Livery was 1997. It was 1997 when they shut down one side of it, and then they ran the other side of it for the next oh, 8 years or whatever until it was removed in 2004. So Late Taxis outlasted one. And I also believe at one time that it was rethemed as Route 66 during a Halloween haunt, or uh, the original Scarefest. So. And the last one, the first upcharge attraction at the park was what? Was it Saltwater Circus, the Flying Carpets, the Slingshot, or the Safari Monorail? And this is the last question, so I'm surprised you all made it this far. And I appreciate everyone sticking through this. This has actually been a lot of fun for me, so hopefully I brought some home and some fun and joy to your lives tonight when the world outside is dying around us. We'll get to coaster season soon. But again, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I appreciate it. And it was the Safari Monorail. I believe the highest price, or the only price possibly ever recorded, I think, was $1. The Safari Monorail was added in 1974 and was removed at the end of the 1993 season. Just became too. Paramount didn't really want to mess with it, and it was kind of like their own. It was a big. It just became a problem over the years. And if you want to learn more about the Safari Monorail, definitely check out Kings Island 50 Years of Memories. We're going to have some great stories about that. Something about a baboon escape. I don't know what that was about, but hopefully we'll get to find out a little more about that. So, again, thank you guys. Let's see who won. So, again, thank you all for playing, and hopefully you learned some fun stuff out of this. But yeah, good job, Carolyn. Woo! So, all right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you had fun. The main point of this was really just to have fun and get your mind off of stuff. And if there's anything that I could help, if there's anything I could help. If there's anything I could help with family issues, or like if anyone needs toilet paper or something, please don't hesitate to let me know. But besides that, thank you guys so much again, and I really appreciate it. Love y'all.